In May 2022, Las Vegas Review-Journal reporter Jeff German published the first in a series of investigative articles about attorney and then Clark County Public Administrator Robert Tellis, detailing allegations that he had created a hostile work environment within his office. Shortly after the publication of these articles, Tellis lost his re-election bid in June 2022. Several months later, in September 2022, German was found stabbed to death outside his home. Surveillance footage captured a suspect wearing a bright orange long-sleeve shirt and a wide-brimmed hat, driving a maroon GMC Yukon Denali, the same model registered to Tellis. Days after the killing, Las Vegas police questioned Tellis and searched his home, discovering enough evidence to arrest him for German's murder. Investigators also found Tellis's DNA under German's fingernails. A grand jury indicted Tellis for first-degree murder on October 20, 2022, setting the stage for a highly publicized trial that began on August 12, 2024. During the lead-up to trial, Tellis hired and fired 3 different attorneys, represented himself for a period of time, and eventually retained criminal defense lawyer Robert Draskevich in February 2024. Throughout the case, Tellis maintained his innocence and insisted on going to trial. When he took the witness stand, he chose to testify in a narrative format, rather than answering questions from his attorney, an unusual but legally permitted approach. In his testimony, Tellis denied killing German and claimed the murder was committed by a professional hitman who framed him. Over nearly 3 hours on the stand, he expanded this claim into a broader conspiracy theory, alleging that multiple state actors, including the prosecutor, local police, and the forensic laboratory, were involved in framing him. Since Tellis chose to testify, the state was entitled to cross-examine him. Prosecutor Christopher Hamner questioned him extensively, challenging his version of events with the evidence investigators had gathered and pressing him for details about his alleged frame-up theory.
Let's talk about your house for a second. When they went over to your house, they took a look underneath your couch. Publishing 224. That's your couch, right?
That is my couch.
And underneath your couch is a shoe and a chopped up shoe, right?
Right.
Okay. That's the gray Nike, correct?
Pure so, yes, sir.
Publishing 228. That's what it looks like, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's gray in color, correct?
Yes.
It is a Nike brand, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has a black swoosh, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has 4 horizontal, or at least vertical bars in the middle of that shoe, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You would agree with me. That's the shoe that the killer was wearing, correct?
I don't know that that's the case.
You don't know? Well, it sure looks a heck of a lot like it, right?
Yes, it could be the same model, but it could be a different size.
Sure. Let's just look at it.
I don't disagree that it's the same model.
Right. It's the exact same type of shoe, right?
Right.
Okay. So we're not in dispute about it. We can agree on that, right?
Right, yes, sir.
And your DNA is in those shoes that are found in your house, correct?
I don't know that to be the case.
Okay, but that's the whole thing of it's a setup and I think the DNA people are framing me. Something along those lines, right?
Whether it's them or someone else?
You've
sure.
heard the results. The results say that your DNA is in that shoe. We did hear that, correct?
That is what we heard.
Okay, and you just think it's just another part of the conspiracy to somehow get your DNA into those shoes.
So I believe that there are officers who, when they think that a fellow officer needs help plugging holes in the case, that they're willing to do what they have to.
Okay, all right. But before we move on, I gotta ask you this too. So if Metro's really, so you think Metro's framing you for this?
As I said before, I think that we've got some officers who are overzealous and who've decided to help Jappy plug holes in his case,
sure.
Not knowing what his relationship was with Compass Realty.
Here's
I object,
sir.
If you'd be allowed to answer the question before.
Okay.
Next question, please.
Sir, I got a question for you. If the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department wanted to frame you, why didn't they put the murder weapon in your house?
I think that maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I mean,
Great question, because if the murder weapon that had Gehrman's DNA and was inside your house, wouldn't that be an even better case?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think
But it's not there, is it?
no.
No, it's not. Even though, according to you, they control everything, they don't put the murder weapon on you? Does that make any sense?
I think it does.
Okay. How about this? If Compass Realty wants to kill you, why don't they encourage Metro, like, we'd really like you to put the murder weapon in there? Why didn't they do something like that?
I don't know.
That seems really odd that the most significant thing is not in your house, correct?
I think what's odd is that 5 days after the murder, that supposedly there was a shoe
So the answer
and
to my
also a
question-
hat in my house.
So the answer to my question, the most significant piece of evidence, the murder weapon, is not in your house despite your theory you've been framed.
That's correct, sir.
Let's talk about this. We've seen the picture of the killer. What's the most notable thing, by far the most notable thing on the killer's person?
It's either the hat or the shirt.
It's the shirt, right? And that shirt is not in your house, is it?
No.
If Metro or Compass or Rita or Cliff all wanted to frame you, why didn't they put the bright orange coat in your house?
I couldn't speak to that. All I can tell
Doesn't
you is,
that sound not very professional if they're trying to set you up?
I don't know, maybe for plausibility's sake, they put half the
Oh,
stuff
they
in
want to
there. I'm
dial
not
it
sure.
back.
I don't know.
Okay. Here's another thing. Why don't they cover your car in Gehrman's DNA? Why did they do that?
Because they didn't have access to the car until the day that Mr. Mogg took photos.
But they have, I mean, they control everything. They take it to their CSI garage and they rub it full of DNA. Why is there no DNA of Gehrman in your car? And if they want to frame you, why isn't it there? Do you have an answer for that?
Sir, I don't know.
Okay. But one of the things that we do know is that prior to your arrest, you do in fact wash that car, correct?
The exterior only.
You still wash it, correct?
Oh, yes.
And your testimony to this jury was, after Rita told me about the tweets about the car that I found so strikingly similar, I went out and washed my car. You told them that on direct. Isn't that correct?
No, sir.
You mean Roberta?
I meant Roberta. After Roberta told you, gosh, that looks just like your car, and you read John R. Custer's tweet, you went out and that prompted you to start washing the Yukon.
No.
That's not your testimony.
No. I said that I washed all 3 vehicles.
Great. Including your Yukon.
Yes.
Right. Because you'd agree if you only wash one of them, that might look a little suspicious, right?
I don't know that I was planning things to be suspicious or not suspicious, sir.
Okay. But let's just be clear. You would agree with me, washing things can make evidence go away. Isn't that right?
I would think DNA evidence would be inside of a vehicle, not on the outside, sir.
Okay. Sir, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
But that's
well,
not the
I guess
point.
I guess I would be
Washing
surprised then.
My question is this. Washing things can make evidence go away, correct?
Could it possibly? Yes.
Thank you.
Prosecutor Hamner challenges Mr. Tellis's claim that he was framed by questioning the logic and feasibility of his story. During cross-examination, attorneys are prohibited from arguing directly to the jury or giving personal opinions about the evidence. And under Section 50.115 of the Nevada Revised Statutes, cross-examination must generally stay within the scope of the witness's direct testimony. In this case, Mr. Tellis's narrative version of events and issues related to his credibility. Within these boundaries, Mr. Hamner presses Mr. Tellis on his framing theory, highlighting the flaws in his reasoning. For example, he asks why, if a group of people truly conspired to frame him for murder, they would not have planted even more incriminating evidence, such as the murder weapon or the distinctive bright orange long-sleeve shirt worn by the killer in surveillance footage. Through this line of questioning, Mr. Hamner's strategy appears aimed at exposing the internal contradictions in Mr. Tellis's testimony and demonstrating to the jury how implausible his version of events truly is.
Let's continue down the path of what's in your phone. We're going to be publishing Exhibit 354. If we could just cue over for a second to the overhead. This is this extraction report that has a lot of images regarding Google Maps in your phone. Do you remember hearing testimony about this?
That's what I heard.
Okay. And the date on this is August 12th of 2022. Isn't that correct? That's when these files appear. Isn't that right?
That's when it purports to have appeared.
Sir, you would agree with me You don't actually have to go to Bronze Circle to get Google Maps to generate these images, correct? All you have to do is go to the website. Isn't that right?
For any location, sure, yes.
Sure. And this is what, about 2 to 3 weeks before Mr. Gehrman is killed?
If we can trust the date, yes.
All right. So, sir, let's. I'm opening the folder that says Bronze Circle. If we could cue over, please. That's Jeff Gehrman's house, correct?
I have come to learn that it is his house.
That's a great point. You've come to learn that because prior to this all happening, you had never been over to the house, correct?
Correct.
You'd have no reason to be over at that house, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
You don't even know where he lives because I'm sure Mr. Gehrman didn't give you his personal address.
That is absolutely correct.
And yet the weird thing is, when we go through these images, when we start getting to like the Google Maps data, like that's his house, right?
It looks like that is the house.
Yeah. Same thing, that's his house, right?
It appears to be.
Like if we look over here in the back, that's literally the very spot where Mr. Gehrman breathes his last breath. Isn't that right?
Objection, all speculation.
Sustained.
That's the very last spot that we see Mr. Gehrman from that body cam, right? He's lying right over there.
It looks like a similar area.
Similar. It's the area, isn't it?
If you say so, sure.
So you don't believe that's the spot?
I mean, it looks like the house, so I would think.
How
I
about
don't think so.
there? Isn't that where Mr. Gehrman was found by the police?
And I would think likely so.
And the very spot that his body is lying is inside your phone.
That is very strange. I mean, how does someone plan to have a victim in a particular area at their home? That's again.
So you would agree with me that if you were planning to kill someone at their house, it might be a good idea to get a lay of the land, right?
I've never plotted to kill anyone.
Well, I didn't say you. I'm just talking hypothetically. You would agree with me that if you were planning to kill someone, it might be a good idea to get a lay of the land,
I
correct?
object to a hypothetical question. He's not an expert, so.
Overruled, he can answer.
Let me ask you that question one more time. You'd agree with me. If you're planning on killing someone, it's a good idea to get the lay of the land, right?
I don't know. I don't know what the circumstances are. I don't know what you're talking about as far as where you want to, do this deed or whatever.
Mr. Tellis, if you wanted, let's do it. You don't want to answer the question. We'll do it another way.
Again, I object to characterization.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Mr. Tellis, if you're planning on doing something, you want to prepare for it, correct?
It depends on what you're planning to do.
Okay. How about your work? As a public administrator, did you prepare every day to go to work to be competent at what you're doing?
Yes.
Did you do that because it's important to do the job correctly?
Yes, sir.
And if the stakes are really big, you want to make sure you're super prepared?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's over 100 images of Bronze Circle neighborhood in your house, correct? In your phone, isn't that right?
I don't know that they are, sir.
Okay, well then let's start clicking.
Plus, again, I wouldn't use my card.
It's not my question. My question is, this is contained in your phone, right, sir?
I don't believe so.
Okay, you don't believe so?
If it is in there, I didn't put it there, sir.
Okay, so the answer is it's there, but you didn't put it there, correct?
Again, I do not know that it's there, and I certainly did not put it there.
Okay, so we're just, okay, sir. You did.
You're asking me to testify something
Sir.
that I can't tell you is true.
Right. But you did hear the testimony of someone coming and said, I looked in his phone and that stuff is there, correct?
That's what they've said.
It's the same phone that your expert looked at, correct? To extract Celebrite data from, right? It's the exact same phone, correct?
Sure.
Did you ever hear Mr. Aguero ever say that your phone was compromised in any way? Did you ever hear that from him?
We never asked him that question.
Okay, but he didn't say it, did he?
The question was never asked.
Right. He looked at your data, he prepared a report, and alerted no one to any problems with your phone, correct?
I don't know.
But
I would object to, he was not called upon to review the phone. He reviewed the Celebrite extraction from the phone, so I object to this line of question.
The objection is sustained.
we can move on. You heard from Matt Hovanec from the DFL department. He testified that there weren't any issues with this phone, correct? When he looked at data that came from it, correct?
He said that, I guess they try not to modify contents of things, but he didn't say that it was impossible.
Okay. Here, well, we can do this too. You got up on direct examination and you went through message by message by message, and you didn't complain about any of the messages that were on September 2nd, correct?
I dispute.
Object as to complaint.
I mean, rephrase the question.
Sure. You offered testimony to this jury about the timeline, correct?
Yes.
You went text by text and phone call by phone call, and you explained things, right?
Right.
At no point did you say, oh, there's a problem here, correct?
Correct.
You had no problem with that information, did you?
Right.
Okay. Sir, do you find it a little bit strange that when you find information that's helpful for you in your phone, you don't think there's a problem with it, but when there's damaging evidence in your phone, you believe maybe it's been hacked or compromised?
I do think that if someone was trying to frame me, that obviously they would leave the content that I made on the phone as well as whatever they decided to put on there. Yes.
And as we see here, like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different houses are being photographed, correct?
If that is truly what was on my phone, then supposedly sure.
Okay. Here's a good example. In this image, there's a security camera being focused on in the image, correct?
That's what it appears to be, which brings up a question that I would have.
There's no question pending, and you're going to get a chance on redirect. You'll be able to say whatever you need to say. But let's be clear. There's an image that isolates on a security camera for the next door neighbor, Mr. Gehrman. It's right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's one right there.
And here was something I remember you told me about. When you started out, what was your first job again?
IT.
IT. You've got a technical background, correct?
Right.
I believe even on direct examination, you described yourself as a techie, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
So you know your way around a computer, right?
Right.
Fair to say you know your way around different software, correct?
Right.
Fair to say you know your way around a cell phone, right?
Right.
You certainly know how to use Google Maps, right?
I think a lot of people do.
Right. Anyone could use that, correct?
Right.
And you would consider yourself a fairly thorough person in your work as a public administrator, right?
More thorough than to do something like this? Sure.
You consider yourself detail-oriented?
I do.
Okay. Can we cue over for 1 second to the overhead? There's over 132 images in your phone focusing on that. Would you say that's a lot of detail?
If that was on my phone, I guess I would say yes.
Okay. And then let's talk about the Popeyes thing, Publishing 364. Do you remember these images?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember them being presented as being allegedly on my phone.
Right. The testimony was it was on your phone. You just don't believe you had anything to do with it, correct?
Again, I don't know that they were ever on my phone. I know that I did not take those photos.
Okay, so you're just denying what you heard.
I am saying that whatever the testimony is, that it could have been placed on my phone, or who knows.
The testimony was it was found on your phone, correct?
It was allegedly found on an image of my phone.
Prosecutor Hamner then questions Mr. Tellis about a set of photographs of Mr. Garman's home that investigators recovered from his phone. Maintaining his theory that he was framed, Mr. Tellis insists that he did not place the photos on his device. This line of questioning directly targets the elements of first-degree murder, which under Section 200.030 of the Nevada Revised Statutes requires proof that the killing was willful, deliberate, and premeditated. By introducing the images found on Mr. Tellis's phone, Mr. Hamner appears to be establishing that the defendant engaged in conduct consistent with planning and surveillance, actions that indicate forethought rather than a spontaneous attack. The photos suggest that Mr. Tellis not only knew where Mr. Garman lived, but also took steps to observe him and prepare for the crime. When confronted with this evidence, Tellis continues to deny any involvement, repeating that he was framed. Instead of directly arguing with him, Mr. Hamner lets the contradictions in his explanation stand on their own, allowing the evidence to highlight the implausibility of his defense and reinforce the state's argument for premeditation under Nevada law.
We could cue over to the overhead, or the computer. We talked about being detailed oriented. You would agree this is numerous images from the same spot, correct?
It appears so.
And if we kind of look, and I just can't see because of the monitor, I mean, we're looking at, that's a sedan, correct?
Yes.
Sedan, correct? Well, it's like a minivan, but it's gray
It's
in
like
color,
a
right?
crossover.
And that's gray in color, right?
Sure.
And that's a truck that's kind of a whitish gray, right? Another gray car, correct?
Sure.
Another gray sedan, correct? This one's a Honda, right?
Sure.
Or maybe that's not a Honda. I don't want to misspeak. That might be a Kia.
It looks like a Honda,
Is it? Okay, it's a Honda.
I think, or unless it's a Hyundai.
Or a Hyundai. I'm not
know.
sure. It kind of looks like an H. We've got an SUV here, but there's a lot of images here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And according to this report, if we could cue over, it's got 101, correct?
That's what it alleges.
That's a lot of photos, correct?
It would be.
It looks like surveillance, doesn't it?
It looks like a stupid way to do surveillance.
Right. Looks kind of amateurish, doesn't it?
Right.
Not professional.
Right. I wouldn't see how that makes sense.
And then, sir, another thing located in your phone were these. Can we cue over to the overhead? Sir, what are we looking at here?
Looks like it's a identification of a vehicle that is owned by Mr. Gurman.
It's a Honda, right?
Yes, sir.
And we know from the photographs earlier, his Honda is gray, correct? We saw from the photos, right?
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to the color with the earlier testimony.
You
Sorry.
have no reason to dispute me if I told you that the color of the car was gray, correct?
I don't, sir.
Okay. And we saw in those images, lots of gray cars were getting snapped, correct?
Yeah, I saw a black one and a white one, but yes.
And you know what that program that's pulling up that information is, don't you, Mr.
That I do, yes.
That's IDI Core, correct?
Right.
That is proprietary software that is in fact used by the Public Administration's Office, correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
It gives the person at the Public Administration's Office the ability to look up personally identifying information about people, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we can see here that Jeffrey Guerin is being looked up on IDI Core, correct?
What I remember correctly looking at this was it was looked up by address.
Well, that's just one report, sir. Let's look at this result. We can see
What's
he's connected.
the search term?
There's no question pending, sir.
Okay.
Take a look at registrants. What's the registrant?
Again, it's Jeffrey M. Gurman.
Right. And if we look down, what's the first address associated with this?
P.O. Box.
Okay. And then we go to the next entry. What's the address associated with Mr. Guerin?
7216, it's the second one related to Mr. Gurman. There's a first one related to Mr. Gurman. That's the P.O. Box, which is current. The second one is 7216 Bronze Circle, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89. I can't read this.
Mr. Tellis, that's where Mr. Guerin lived, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's where he was murdered, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this image of his personal information and his home address is located inside your phone.
Again, I don't know that it is.
Okay, so we're just, again, we don't have to do the dance, but you're just not accepting the testimony that it was located on your phone.
That is correct.
Okay, all right. But you'd agree with me that from just that bottom there, that looks like a desktop monitor, a Dell desktop monitor, correct?
Correct.
And again, this has more information about Mr. Guerin's cars, correct?
Yes, sir.
This is IDI Core, correct?
Right.
Software that is in your office, correct?
The office that Mr. Jappy visited, yes.
Okay. This is more IDI Core images, correct?
Appears so, yes, sir.
Let me just come out and ask you. This is your desk, isn't it?
It probably is.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. During your official duties as the public administrator, you didn't have like a case with Mr. Guerin at all, right?
No, sir, I didn't. And What was the search term to find that?
Well, one of the search terms was 7216 Bronze Circle, correct?
Can you show that to me?
Sure. 7216 Bronze. We can cue over to the overhead. Can everybody see that? So you can see that, right?
Yes, sir, I can.
And the date, the created time is 8/23/2022 at 6:05 p.m., correct?
Yes, that's what it reports to be.
Okay. And that was a weekday, wasn't it?
I'm sure it was, because, I don't know.
And there's one more thing. This wasn't converted into UTC time. So if we subtract 7 hours, that's at 11:05 a.m. in the morning on 8/23, correct?
And again, I don't know if this document's been modified by a PDF viewer or not, but
Do you
it purports to be of that day.
Do you recall the testimony? Well, no. You recall the testimony of Matt Levanich, which said this was not converted, and when you convert it, this search was conducted at 11 o'clock in the morning, correct? You recall him saying, I'm not asking if you agree with it, you recall it being said.
I know that I didn't do the search, so I couldn't tell you definitively.
So I'd like you to focus on my question. Do you recall Mr. Levanich saying that here in court?
That's what he said.
Okay. And just to be clear, publishing 351, there it is. That's a weekday. That's a Tuesday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you typically have random people coming into your office using your desktop software?
Again, that could have been modified in a number of ways.
So,
a
sir,
number of ways, sir.
That's not my question. My question is, as the public administrator, did you allow people to go into your office in the middle of the day and manipulate and use your computer?
I didn't allow it, but that's not to say that it didn't happen, sir.
So the answer is, you had an edict that said you're not allowed to do this, correct?
But if I wasn't around or whatever, I don't know.
Okay. I mean, you would hope as the head of the department, they would have at least not used your computer, right?
I would have hoped, but you'd be surprised what happened in that office.
Okay. Right, because of the conspiracy? Right, okay.
Mr. Hamner then questions Mr. Tellis about another set of photos recovered from his phone. These images show a computer screen on his desk displaying the proprietary software used by the public administrator's office to access personal information about county residents. Among those screenshots were records containing details about Mr. Garman, including information related to his vehicle. Mr. Hamner notes that the search term used, 7216 Bronze, partially matches Mr. Garman's home address, and that the search was performed around 11 a.m. on a weekday. Even when confronted with this evidence, Tellis insists that he was not the one who ran the search. After this exchange, Mr. Hamner continued his cross-examination and the trial moved forward. At the conclusion of the proceedings, Mr. Tellis was found guilty of first-degree murder with a deadly weapon on August 28, 2024. The jury sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. But because of several sentencing enhancements, including one based on Mr. Garman being over 60 years old, one for the use of a deadly weapon, and another for lying in wait, Judge Michelle Leavitt exercised her authority to add an additional 8 years to the minimum sentence, the maximum allowed by law. As a result, Mr. Tellis will not be eligible for parole for a total of 28 years. He continues to maintain his innocence and on August 26, 2025, filed an appeal with the Nevada Supreme Court seeking to overturn his conviction. As of the writing of this episode, that appeal remains pending. This trial highlights the potential risks that arise when a criminal defendant chooses to testify in their own defense. While the Supreme Court has made clear that defendants have a constitutional right to take the stand, testifying opens the door to cross-examination by prosecutors, scrutiny that can strongly influence how a defendant's credibility is perceived. In this case, Prosecutor Hamner's cross-examination demonstrates how a skilled attorney can challenge a witness's narrative through questions that expose inconsistencies and highlight conflicts with the physical evidence. For many defendants, deciding whether to testify requires balancing the desire to tell their side of the story against the danger of facing rigorous and potentially damaging questioning. Defense attorneys often approach this decision with caution, knowing that even confident testimony can falter under pressure. The exchange reviewed here serves as a powerful example of how those risks play out in real time and underscores the significant strategic consequences that come with exercising the right to testify in a criminal trial. let us know in the comments if there's another case or courtroom moment you'd like us to cover. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and share to help foster a more informed society.